think that healing process is different. We can't just say why she didn't come out.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens with RAP victims too. There's a healing process. Some people don't want to talk about it because it just triggers them. Like maybe being in that healthy marriage that she's in, she's like, you know what? This is my time to talk about what has happened. Like,
and if that's the case, but see, I would agree with you if she hadn't asked him for money. I would agree with what you're saying if she had not asked him for money. If you're going to advocate for, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to advocate for a cause, you don't need to get money from the perpetrator. If what you're saying in your heart is because you're doing this for battered women, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to shelters. I'm going to go give to these children. I'm going to go do these things because I'm giving for battered women because my heart has.
Is she advocating for marriage?
No, but you're comparing her to a normal woman that experienced DV. She's a rich woman. It's not like she does not have the means to give.
You don't know her. What are you talking about?
Rich. She hasn't done a job in years. I don't think her husband is even rich.
So she's poor. She's not poor.
She's not poor. Her husband is
she's not poor. She's not average. So she has to be above average financially.
Cameron, I think you're missing the point of her going up against someone like a Diddy, and you're saying that because she didn't do what you think that she should have done for other women, that's how you hit a man like that. Where you don't hit Diddy by going to the homeless shelters, you hit Diddy by publicly.
But it's not for Diddy. You're not doing what you're doing for Diddy.
But that was part of the lie, though.
She did for other women. She said she was doing what she did in the name of battered women because of what she experienced. And so what I'm saying is, if you're going to be a victim and use these women's plight, just like the RAP situations when women try and use, why are they taking away abortion? This is going to hurt the women that are being raped and incest. Yes, it will. So then advocate for those women and do something about it. That's not hurting. Like her doing what she's doing to Diddy is not helping or hurting future or past victims is all I'm saying. She got her payout.
The footage just came out.
But the footage isn't doing anything. That does nothing for other women. Her footage is just showing that she was telling the truth about her situation. That footage does nothing for other victims.
But it has caused a conversation. We're talking about it tonight. We have seen people are publicly talking against.
And talking does nothing. Talking does nothing. We're not changing anybody's lives. Is what I'm saying.
About Diddy now. Some people's mindset has changed completely on
Diddy.
But
the mindset, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are still talking about intangible things that are not changing people's real life. Real victims out there.
That's going to change his real life. So now that Slim Thug knows that he's a DV guy, you think Slim Thug's going to hang out with him? Now that there's actual proof of him hitting, you think
that's your rebuttal and Slim Thug's not going to hang out with him anymore?
We're supposed to be advocating for the victims of domestic violence. It does not just stop at talking about the problems. If you're going to advocate for any problem that you feel like you resonate with, that means more than just talking about it. That means giving your money, giving your time, physical things, not just ideologies of things. So all I'm saying is it's fine that she did all that she did, but in doing that, same like when people give to the homeless. I'm sure you don't just say, oh my God, I'm gonna just make a post about the homeless people. You give out to the homeless, you give food, you see the men, you give them, what you have. All I'm saying is people make tangible steps when they actually want to help something, their cause.
Cameron, you wanted to be on social media, and that's not how everybody handles things. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that things aren't being done. And that's the real world. It doesn't matter. She did what she needed to do for Cassie's story, because we're not Cassie. No,
the accusations should be just as loud as the work that she's doing. The accusations should be just as loud as the work that she's doing.
But listen, Cassie has 186 posts.
And not one of them is about better women.
She doesn't have to. But why does she have to do it on social media? Not everybody's social media prone.
Yes. And you're right. And I would agree with what you're saying. Again, I agree with what you're saying if it wasn't the person that we're talking about. Again, you're trying to make this and comparing this to just like any regular person. It's not that she does not use social media. It's not that she has zero posts on her social. There are celebrities that have zero posts on their social media and follow zero people. She's not one of them. So she does use social media to her benefit when she wants to, just like everybody else does. So
let me help you out here. Y'all do realize that the only reason that this became public is because she didn't get the amount that she said she wanted in the first place.
Thank you.
That changes the dynamic of the conversation. Y'all trying to make it seem like she's this advocate for women.
No one says she's an advocate.
No. Y'all trying to make it seem like she's an advocate for women, and it doesn't justify what was done to her. So let's be very clear. Let's preface this conversation by saying that nobody agrees and everybody understands that it was wrong. That's not just the only part of the conversation. What we saying is that y'all trying to make her the poster child as an advocate for women, and the only in this conversation and on social media, they're trying to use this in order to make it the poster child for what is really happening. In reality, the only reason that she came public in the first place, and the only reason that this is out in the first place, is because it was filed in federal court because she didn't get the number that they wanted in the first place. This was never about criminal. He was never reported criminally.
Well, it's out the
Anton's right. They did say that.
It wasn't in 2016. It wasn't
1,000% about the civil suit. This was look. Diddy is not arrested for whatever is happening.
It's out of statute of limitation.
This whole is out of statute of limitation makes no sense.
It ain't about a statute of limitations. The accusation she just got. Y'all got to remember that footage is from 2016. She just recently got out of the relationship.
It's out of statute of limitations.
Hold on. She just got out of the relationship within the last few years. So the statute of limitations, as far as a criminal accusation, is not up. And so the only thing that was ever filed was a civil suit. There was never, ever, under any circumstances, a criminal complaint. And let's be very clear. We're not even just talking about from Cassie. We talking about from everybody that was around them that witnessed it happening. Ain't nobody ever said nothing. Nobody. Nobody ever said nothing. And now we got all of these Monday morning quarterbacks, and everybody want to act like, oh my God, I'm so against him. You wasn't against him back when it was happening. You wasn't against him when you was witnessing. I don't see nobody ever filed a criminal complaint. Listen, she wasn't tripping when she had 2 cribs on both coasts. When she had a crib over there in LA and she had one over in New York, it wasn't a big deal though. Back then, was it?
You know what's wrong about the argument is that you're acting like, okay, people didn't talk because it was Cassie with Diddy. But how many of us have family members that we hear about or know about that suffered as kids, or an uncle touched them, or a cousin or an auntie touched them, and nobody brings them to the front of the congregation? That happens so many times at everyday families where we sit around and nobody will chastise or condemn the uncles that touch the little cousins or touch your cousin. So come on, that's not even a real argument. The thing is,
so 2 wrongs make a right.
So what? So y'all not telling me y'all uncle?
Those things happen all the time. People sit around and watch bad happen every day, and they don't do anything about it. And that happens to kids.
That means nothing. She did do something about it. That's my point.
You're conflating and you're using regular people. The reality is this. Listen, you skipped right over one important fact, and that they was trying to get a settlement privately way before this became public. And one of the things that you said, Queen, was that you said this is the way that she's hitting back. No, it's not. That's not the way that she was hitting back. She only used it as leverage in order to still get paid. Now,
okay, that's the way she was trying to do it for her situation. I'm not mad at Cassie.
Is justifying the behavior.
And I can tell you,
the context matters. The context matters.
You're missing.
Pam is 100% right, and y'all don't like it because she's going against the sister code.
Okay, so question. So the police made something and said it's statute of limitations. So I'm about to pull it up because it is. This is what they said. We are aware of the video, blah, 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 blah. We find the images extremely disgusting and difficult to watch. If they conducted depicted occurred in 2016, unfortunately, we would be unable to charge as the conduct would have occurred beyond the timeline where a crime of assault
means nothing, Q. And you know why it means nothing? No. Let me tell you why it means nothing. It's because that's with regard to that video. At what point
he's been assaulting her for years?
Because again, wait. She was in this relationship for 10 years, right? Okay. At least 10 years. Mm-hmm. And stuff happened way after that. So that's only applicable to that particular video. At what point in history did any woman even need evidence to make an accusation against domestic violence or abuse from a man in the first place?